how can you be standing back there the whole time? Your only job is to note if the microphones and everything is working. You have two jobs. One job is to make sure that the camera is working. Second job is to make sure that the microphones are working. That's it. And he stood here and he made sure the camera was working, but then when we got done, 30 minutes in, no audio. All right, guys, welcome back. My name is Spencer. What's your name?
My name is Bo.
What's up, guys? Yo!
Hello.
Hey!
Oh.
Welcome back. This is the 30 and Dirty podcast. I'm Spencer with my co-host, Bo Seth. This is our first episode, so we're going to jump right into it. We're not going to miss a beat. Today we're going to be talking about who Bo is, who I am, and we're going to try to keep it under 30 minutes. Each episode we're going to kind of twist it up a bit. Some episodes we may have guests. Some episodes we may be going head to head over the world's biggest debates. Head to head. Some days we may just be fucking off. Some days we may be freaking on. Some days we may be freaking off. So it's going to be kind of a mix up a lot of different things. But first and foremost, we need to figure out who are we and why are we doing this. So first and foremost, let me introduce my co-host here, Bo.
Hi everybody, my name is Bo, like Spencer's already said. First off is, well, let's get into the questions, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just get right into it.
Yeah, let's dive in.
How about you tell me what's your first and last name, and then drop your middle initial.
Bo, Kaimig, and M.
Okay, so we're going to call him Bo M. Kaimig. Go ahead.
It's Kaimig.
Curate. Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of like the coffee machine. So I'm Bo. Me and Spencer, we're both Midwest boys.
I'm going to do the questions too, okay?
All right.
Okay.
First question.
So yeah, first question is, where are you from?
I am from, well, originally I was born and raised in Madison, Minnesota, a small farming town in the Midwest portion of the state. And I graduated from Morris High School. And then
What was your GPA?
probably about a solid 2.1.
Mm.
Didn't very much so apply myself in high school whatsoever. It wasn't that I wasn't smart or couldn't read a book or anything like that. I just didn't apply myself because I personally didn't see where high school education was going to take me personally, because I didn't want to be a doctor, I didn't want to be a lawyer, and so I think those are very specific things that you apply yourself after school for in college. So I went to a year of college at Minnesota State Tech in Fergus Falls for a year, just because,
like shit.
Yeah, literally shit. Because that's where all my friends from high school went to play sports. So I'm like, I'll just go, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, so I'm going to just go to school for a year. Well, I was academically ineligible after about the first semester of school, and I just started working. So I think my first job was at a GNC in the mall, the Fergus Falls Mall, if you could imagine what that was like.
Yeah, I can imagine. And we're going to stop you right there because that's enough into, the backstory of where you're from. So we keep those sections short and sweet. We're going to get into the next section. It's called, What Brought You to Hawaii? Hawaii.
Hawaii. A fresh start. The biggest thing was I needed something new. I was struggling with depression and addiction back in Fargo. There's just not a lot to do in that area of the country, and I fell victim to it, per se.
What were you addicted to? Was it horse tranquilizers?
No, horse dewormer. Yeah, no.
Roundup.
It was alcohol, Adderall, cocaine, all that good stuff. I mean, it's good in moderation, don't get me wrong, folks, but
It made you a little...
I've got a very addictive personality,
You were never fun on any of those things.
I had a ton of fun on those things. What are you talking about?
You're no fun.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Okay.
As a friend who had to sit and watch it.
I mean, I think we can both attest to that. Neither of us were that much fun to handle.
Well, I'd say here, I would stay out and be the life of the party all night. You would go running home or run wherever you're at. I mean, you just...
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, but you're not going anywhere. You just disappear.
Yeah, I went home.
I'm just saying those are very weird things. And then let's go back to a story in Vegas.
Of course. Your favorite story?
Well, it's one where we had to babysit you for the whole trip, and then you missed your flight.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
That is the story, folks.
Yeah.
Bo got a little twisted up, spilled a bunch of $25, $30 drinks on people at the club, and then got fucking wasted and ended up in the back of a dually Ford, or it was a Ford 3500, and he missed his flight. But anyways, has nothing to do with why you're here today, right? Or maybe.
I mean, maybe it was the beginning of my demise.
Yeah,
per se.
It could have been the start. Yeah,
Yeah,
it actually felt like the start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, all beginnings aren't always the greatest. I think we could say that in this instance.
you could say that in this instance.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we can both agree we both had our issues with stuff like that in the past. No? You clean?
Oh, not clean.
Oh.
I don't. No. Two totally different. Same, but different.
Okay.
Same.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. So continue on though. Those things led you up and boiled you down to why you're here today.
Yeah.
So the alcohol, the cocaine,
Yeah.
the drugs, the women, the guys, all led you here today to Hawaii. This is what brought you here.
You brought me here.
That's right, I did.
Yeah. So I was in a real dark place. I was going through treatment. It just wasn't working. The people I surrounded myself with and everything else was. There was just, for me, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. There was no way I could, get out of Fargo.
Well, Fargo couldn't get out of you.
Yeah, man.
Right?
You could take the guy out of Fargo, but
You can't take the guy out of you.
something like that. Yeah.
Remember that line though.
Yeah.
Good line,
Yeah.
stay
You
on
can't
the line.
take. Yep. You can't take the guy out of you. Got it. And then I came out here for a fresh start. Spencer, he being one of my best friends, he really took me under his wing. He flew me out here, gave me a place to live, gave me a job, and I could never, thank him enough.
I gave you my heart too.
He gave me his heart, and
Put my heart on my
real
leg and said, "Here, look it."
He's a real homie for that, and I can't ever let anybody else say different.
Hey man, appreciate that.
Of course.
That's a lot of love to just throw that on the first podcast like that and just be so real and on.
Yeah, uncut and raw. That's and I mean I think it's a very overlooked thing is guys, especially our age, is I feel like a lot of them are in that situation. They're just too, especially the stigma.
They're too
around,
feminine to get out of it.
No, there's just a stigma around guys are afraid to talk about stuff like that, especially in the Midwest. Very blue collar, hardworking men, where it's like
Yeah, if you ain't got a Bush Light and a John Deere, you better not even talk at all.
yeah, let's not get on the topic of Bud Light. That's a big debate right now.
Well, I don't even want to talk about Bud Light because I don't drink Bud Light. I think Anheuser-Busch, just I have nothing to say about it.
No,
I don't even care.
nothing.
No.
Nah.
But anyways, let's not get off subject by a subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. If he ever does that again, I'm gonna slap him. Okay,
Keep me
continue.
in shape. And no, so I moved out here, and honestly, it was crazy. Just without all those distractions I had back home in the Midwest, like I said, just the culture of everything with the drinking and the people I surrounded myself with, I was able to get back on my feet right away. And I am 6 months and 4 days sober now from alcohol, Adderall, and coke, which is with zero like rehab or treatment or anything like that. Not saying that anybody can just go and do that, but it also goes to show of where you come from and your surroundings and being careful like, where you put yourself, in different friend groups and yeah.
Wow. Now that was touching.
Yeah.
But we did leave out a little tidbit that although you did quit those 4 or 5 curricular activities, you are still partaking in copious amounts of marijuana.
Yes.
To the point that he spends weeks, if not months, in his room on his days off. And he ain't even met one friend since he's been out here. The only friends he's met are friends I introduced him to. So, let's go into the battle against marijuana.
Weed.
It's really good. No, let's not get it twisted. We're not saying not smoke weed, but I think there's a time to smoke it and a time to not smoke it. Now, the times are going to be to smoke it at night, when you're hungover, maybe a tiny little one in the morning and get the day going. But other than that, you don't need to be smoking midday. No need.
Yeah, so I just, what Spencer's trying to get at is I've really turned into a hermit, or I should say, I'm
He looks like one too.
hermit. So essentially, I quit all those substances, but then I obviously started doing more of smoking copious amounts of the weed, and I turned myself. I just get social anxiety. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to meet new people. I'd get what are the kids calling it now? A Tinder Tinder match, and I would.
Looks like he's just a kid.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm on all. You can get me on Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, Grindr. Nah, I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding. I knew that was gonna be the last one because it was serious.
Yeah. But anyways,
hey, let's stop right there. It's not weird to be gay. If you're teetering on that line, just say it. We'll drink a Bud Light together and call it good.
No, and just for the record, I am straight.
That's all right, guys. He'll break out in another episode.
Yeah, Spencer's convinced that I'm gay.
We don't know what it is.
I don't know. You're trying to.
We don't even know. I don't even know if we could classify it as anything yet. No one's ever seen it. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah, nobody's ever seen it. Exactly. So there's no proof to the pudding.
No, it's not your penis. We never ever. I'm not saying we ain't seen it. I'm saying we see the way your personality is. We just can't put a name on
A
it.
nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it's like, is it teetering behind, like, around trans, gay? Like, is it a mix?
I mean, trans.
Is it a mix? Is like, one thing I was thinking about is like, so if guys are getting rid of their Johnsons, can a girl get a Johnson put on?
I believe through surgery you can.
So where is the Johnson?
Where do they get the Johnson?
Where is the Johnson coming from?
If they have lab grown meat, that makes me think they have lab grown, beef sticks. So I'm thinking, they got
Can't
a
be.
little petri disc.
That'll be another, let's not get too far down the rabbit hole here. That'll be another episode, but that is a good question that we will need to bring it up in another topic. If guys are getting rid of their Johnsons, are they sending that Johnson to be preserved so someone can buy it? Is this like a resale type deal?
Black market.
Either way, let's keep going into about who you are because people want to know more about you and how you got to be 5'4".
For fact check, I am 5'8" and 3/4. Driver's license says 5'9".
You don't have a driver's license.
I've got a U.S. passport ID, whatever. Date of Pagano.
That's why you can't keep a Hinge date because you ain't got a driver's license.
Yeah, well.
Girls on Hinge like to see that you got a driver's license.
Yeah. I am currently waiting to get my Hawaii license, so stay tuned, guys.
Oh, big flex.
Yeah,
You're gonna show all the girls? Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, we're getting off topic a bit.
Yeah.
So what was the last thing we were talking about? You were saying why you came out here,
Yep.
you're having a little problems with
Anxiety,
gambling, the
smoking too much weed.
copious weed.
So I'm cutting back.
Yes, cutting
Yeah.
back so you can make friends. You said you also want to get your diver certification. You want to learn how to dive?
Well, yeah, I want to get my scuba license so I can.
That'd be sick. That'd be super sick.
Yeah.
And this would be a great spot to do it because you know what? The ocean is just right there.
Yeah, it's in
Right
our back door. Everybody's back door.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that would be a cool thing to do. What else do you want to do? Like, you want to get your motorcycle license? You wanna get that, right?
I mean, every day at our store here, we are working with rental motorcycles, and obviously just being on them and being around them all day, it's definitely a driving factor that it's something I like to do. I grew up around it. My stepdad rides motorcycle. He actually builds custom motorcycles for people, and my late father actually rode.
You should have them
motorcycles as
ship
well.
out a fucking custom Harley for us.
Yeah, I'd love to see his hog or that hog.
Again, we gotta stay on that line, buddy.
Yeah.
Remember. Anyways, so he's got some hobbies that are gonna get you some friends. He's gonna cut back on the drinking, the drugs. That's all great stuff, folks. That's what's gonna help him stay and remain on the AINT. So you're making good strides. Now tell me next, what is a 5-year goal for you? Now that you're out here, like you didn't really know what your plan was prior to coming out here, but now that you're out here, you see what the island's about, you see what the business is about. What's your plan? What's your 5-year plan or goal?
Well, my biggest thing right now, being in my late 20s, coming up on my early 30s, is my career. You gave me an opportunity to come in with this company, and I wanted to become an asset for you, and I really want to help for us, and I really want to help us grow and open more locations around the United States, and then eventually make it international.
Yep.
I mean, anywhere you go, everybody needs a mode of transportation, and that's what we do.
Yep.
So I think just opening up, 2-3 stores in the next 5 years, that's a huge goal. But I think
6, 7, 8 in the next maybe 10, 15, 25?
Yeah, you know,
35, 40.
and it's
45, 55, 65?
yeah, kind of get a full phone.
Anyways.
But I just really want to. I would like to see, you know, us opening up more locations in the next 5 years for sure, growing the brand. I just think it's such a cool experience because we're all so young. We've all got fresh heads on our shoulders. It's just there's no ceiling to
Yeah, there's no ceiling to the business at all. That's definitely one of the things I think is the coolest part about it. Most businesses you talk about, you're like, well, you can scale that to scale, but then there's obviously always a point where scale is unscalable. Like it's just done. I mean, you could try to flex it a bit more, but with this, I mean, there's so many different ways to market the business and grow it. And I mean, like so many. I'm talking like 20, 30 different ways to grow it and market it and make money. So it's not just you could have partial ownership memberships. You could have people renting their stuff out at our store to make money, and we make money by. I mean, the options are endless. So that's cool, and we're glad you're on board because we love to have you, brother.
Yeah, good to be on board.
Well, that's awesome. You're making good strides in the company too. I feel as if that you figured some stuff out pretty quick at the beginning, and now it's like solidified that you kind of got everything down to a T.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. We love you, and we love what you've been doing for the company.
God bless. Now, I think, we're about halfway through our first show here. I think we're going to flip the script a little bit, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
Hit me with that, Johnson.
Well, just kind of iterate the same stuff you asked me. So, where are you from? And tell us a little bit about that growing up.
Alright, so since Taz fucking forgot to hit the record button, I've already said all this, but we're going to say it again. So, let's just pedal back through. I'm going to try to say it quick, but not too quick. So back in 2012 was the first time I'd ever come to the island. First time I'd ever been really anywhere tropical. I've been to like San Diego, fucking Florida, but nothing really fucking cool. And so we came out here in 2012. I was a senior in high school. We stayed at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. One good thing to note about the Hilton Hawaiian Village, they make it a point to try to not let you leave the resort. They don't like hold you hostage or anything, but they try to have every single amenity thing that you'd be looking for, so you don't end up ever leaving the property. You just end up spending all your money there. So the first time we came to Hawaii, we did not do much exploring. We went on a Circle Island tour on a tour bus, and that was it. Came back the next year, we explored a bit more. Then fast forward a year or two, I knew a friend of mine from Detroit Lakes, where I'm from, who was living out here and running a business called Stoked on Life, where he sold sunglasses and merch. He was living on the North Shore, so I came out. I hit him up. I didn't even know him. I said, hey, would you mind if I came out and kind of checked out the island? You could show me around when you had time, if you got time. And he said, yeah, that'd be awesome. So I actually got a condo 1 block over from where my shop is today. I stayed there for 3 weeks. And then when I got to the island here, I had to take a bus out to him. So it's the first time I'd ever drove on or rode on city transportation or anything of that sort. So I'm from the country, and we just drive our car to work, and that's it. So I got on the bus, was riding, going to North Shore. It's a good 3 to 4 hour ride. And I got off probably like 5 to 6 miles too soon. Ben had to come get me on his bike. So I ended up spending about like a week and a half on the North Shore. He had a house on the beach with jet skis. The guys who lived in the house all surfed and shit. It was a super cool experience, but that was my first time, or my first insight into like local living on the island. What do people do out here, and the lifestyle. And I honestly fell in love with it. I mean, who fucking wouldn't? I mean, living on the North Shore, nice days, beaches, jet skis. I mean, it was a cool concept. I'm from Minnesota. We're in lakes country where we have 10,000 lakes, and so it kind of reminded me of the lakes area, just year-round, 70, 80 degrees. So we, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
We're good. We'll cut this out.
What, Connor? What?
All right, we are back. We had a little bathroom break there, guys.
No, we didn't. We had fucking an employee come cut the fucking switch on. It's 2 employees now that ruined the podcast midway through. How the hell are we going to do a podcast if people keep interrupting?
Jeez.
Beats me.
Let's circle back here a little bit.
If we know where to circle back to, motherfucker. Fuck, dude. Taz forgot to hit the record button.
Connor forgot the slingshot keys.
Anyway, so basically what I was saying is that I don't even know where I was. All right, guys. My apologies. 2 fucking staff members butt in and interrupt us. Back to it. So I'm from Lakes Country, right? And out there on the lakes. It reminded me a lot of home. So that's why I came back out here, guys. I fucking like it.
You like the water.
Nice.
You love being on the water.
I love water.
Yeah. And you live right on the water, correct?
What's that?
You live right on the water, correct? Here in Hawaii?
I do. Now, I like Lakes Country. I like fish.
Yeah.
I like boat. I like car.
Yes.
So anyways, what I was saying, guys, is I grew up in Lakes Country, so this reminded me a lot of Lakes Country. And it made me want to come back out here. So after I stayed with Ben for I stayed with him for about a week and a half on North Shore, week and a half in town. I told myself, I was like, God, I want to live out here. And so I fast forward like 2 or 3 years. I came out here in 2015. I got a job. My first job out here was for Kirby Vacuums. I was going door to door selling fucking vacuums to people. And we would get them by saying, do you want a free cleaning? Some lady, a nice lady dressed up nice, would come through, knock your door, say, would you like a free cleaning? It'll be quick and clean. And they would say yes, and then they would say, Spence, you're on, brother. I'd show up with a box with the fucking Kirby vacuum all into 100 pieces. I'd get in that living room and I'd say, watch me clean. And then as I clean, they eat their dinner, and then I tell them, hey, what do you think about buying this motherfucker? And they say, it's nice, how much? I say it's $4,000. So fuck, dude. That was one of the worst jobs I could have ever had. Somewhat. It was 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. Anyways, I got rid of that job pretty quick. Within like 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. Found a job at Waikiki Beach Services doing beach rentals, surfboards, bodyboards, chairs, umbrellas, that sort of thing. I love that job. I'd show up in the morning, 5 a.m., get all the beach stuff ready. Sometimes I'd be working night shifts at the night pool. It was connected to the Sheraton Hotel. And then I was like, man, I really like it out here. I want to live out here. But I realized that making $13 an hour working for a job like that is like never going to make it out here. So I decided to start a business, went back home, and we created GoGo Rental, came up with the brand, the naming, started working on the website, had a company start that, and then we figured out what products we wanted, and then we started an extension of one of my dad's stores in Fargo, which would be the first GoGo Rental. Fast forward a year later, 2018, me and my buddy Logan decided to move out here together and buy an existing rental company, which is Cruisin' Hawaii, the shop that we're in today. We bought it in 2018, we revamped it, kicked a lot of shit to the curb. This place was disgusting. They were not running it how you should be running a business. There's a lot of shady practices. We kept all the employees around that were there, and that was probably one of the biggest headaches because they all had a lot of very bad habits. And so we kicked all that, and then of course fucking COVID hit. And then we had a great year after the first year of COVID because everyone had stimulus checks, and we probably had the best months we'll ever have. And now, fast forward to now, it's 2023 summer, it's June, and we're a lot slower than we should be. So we're just working on back-end stuff, still moving the business forward. We're looking at starting another location in Lake Havasu at the end of the year. So we're just doing back-end shit now, but that's how I got out here. And I basically started around this area, and then I ended back up here about 5-6 years later. So
Nice.
Sorry, that was a long story, but there's a lot to it, a lot of moving parts. You gotta fucking listen.
Absolutely.
Were you listening?
I was.
Okay, sweet.
I was locked in.
You locked in.
Absolutely.
Locked in.
I think another thing we can talk about is what else adventures, side adventures do we have going on besides like the podcast and the work?
Our t-shirt. So when we started the podcast, I said, Bo, how about this? We got to start a podcast, or I want to start a podcast. Would you like to be a co-host? Because he watches a lot of podcasts. I don't watch hardly any podcasts, nor do I listen to them. I'd never have listened to a podcast in my headphones, just to say that right now. Never ever.
Yeah.
I don't have enough attention span to do that. Guy be talking for 5 minutes, I wouldn't listen ever. Forgot it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said, let's start something, because I love to talk, as you can see. Love it. Just rambling on. So he said, yeah, I'll do it. I said, you be the co-host. And then on top of that, I said, why don't we start a vintage clothing store? Because I have a lot of vintage clothing and I like it. It's fun. So we bought a whole rack of clothes there, like a couple $1,000s worth of vintage. And we are going to be wearing a t-shirt that's for sale on our vintage shop every single episode. And if you want it, and you buy the one that I wore on the episode, I may give it to you for a discount. So just reach out, throw in the comments, say, I want the shirt Spencer or Bo wore in the 30 and Dirty podcast. Discount your way, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Boom.
Okay, what else we got?
Well, where were we at?
Well, you were asking me questions. If you don't have any questions, that's right. I'll just keep her going. You don't have any questions?
I lost
If
my
you're
thought
the
there.
co-host, it's got to be pumping out stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just.
Dude, he froze up, dude.
Yeah.
So we've had 3 stoppages. We've had Taz came in, Kitty Wampus didn't hit the record button. Fucking Sea Dog came in for this slingshot keys, and he just went dud on me. He went dud. Blank wall.
Yeah. No, we're getting back into it here.
Well, we're running out of battery power on the Mac, so it just hasn't been the best day for recording.
Yeah. You know.
Even though this Mac was fully loaded with battery power before we started. Anyway, guys, I think this is probably a good spot to clip the end of the pod because it seems about right, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think we give a shout out to our sponsors for today.
We have no sponsors.
There we go. So
We are the sponsors of every pod. I'm the sponsor. Finders Keepers Hawaii, 30 and Dirty Podcast, Go Rental Hawaii, Go Rental Midwest, Hawaii Hobbit House, Cruisin' Hawaii, Bikeadelic Hawaii, you name it Hawaii. We're sponsored by it. So,
You heard it.
anyways, guys, no, I know that this was kind of a silly opening for our first podcast. I'm not even sure we're going to put this out because it turned out like shit. But every episode, we're going to keep getting better and better and tweaking the knob and here and that, this and that, there and that. And it's just going to keep getting better. But this one had a few hiccups, that's all right. We're going to catch you guys in the next one, and we're going to be fully prepared, okay?
Fully torqued.
Yeah. So,
Thank you everybody for signing on today.
saying MSN AOL Messenger. Thanks for signing in again.
Oh, signing on.
Signing on, signing off. This is the 30 and Dirty Podcast. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Rate that like button, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Aloha. Well, yeah.
I was just like, I was trying to think.